So now that you have your reports uploaded into the Analytical Advantage, I wanted to walk through with you what each of the reports are and what they mean, and just help you get an understanding of how you can use this to grow your business. So the very first page is your projections. This is giving you an idea of where your business is going to end for the current month and give you an idea where those points are coming from, what things are, just give you a pulse of your business. Really, this is the overall pulse of how your business is doing today. So you can see we have it broken down into total points and outside leg points. That way, you can kind of see both. Some people are only interested in their total points, and others kind of struggle with their outside leg and may need to be putting a lot of focus into that leg also. And this is why all of our reports are going to show you both perspectives. So under total points here, it starts with your current points, and that's where your current points are at right now when you uploaded those reports. And then compression points this is actually what your points are at if they were given the actual point value of the level that they are. So for example, if you have somebody that is your level 3 and they're compressing up to your level 1, your points are getting 6 points in this right here. 6 of those points are coming from that person. But really, you should only be getting 5 points because they're your level 3. Some of that compression is going to stick, some of it's not, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But this is just showing you fully compressed where your points would be right now. Then we have points from subscription. These are points that have not processed yet, but are coming from subscriptions that are yet to run in the future. Compression bonus. This is what I was saying just a second ago. This is how many points you typically or you last month did not compress. So that say this person last month ended at 7,000 points, their fully compressed points would have been about 6,100, 66,050. So they had 941 points that actually didn't compress. That means that level 3, the level 1 and 2 between them that I said is showing as their level 1, the level 1 and 2 between them probably didn't order, and they actually stayed their paid level 1. So that's just one example. And then probable declines. This is the percentage of from last month. I'm looking at your last month's data to pull this information. But based on your last month's data, this percentage, 89 points of this 365 or 3615, sorry, probably will decline. It's not certain, maybe higher, maybe lower, but that just gives you an idea so that you know that some of those points will decline so that you have a full picture of where you would end. So this is giving you an idea. The 66.95 is your subscription only forecast. This is a forecast that if nobody else joined your team this month or nobody else ordered that is not on subscription, this is where your points would be. Then we have future forecast. This is just guessing what is going to happen on your team based on last month's data. So this is guessing that this person is going to get an extra 406 points coming from extra orders that are not, those are those discretionary orders that are not on subscription. Lots of people go in and place orders that don't have subset. And so that's what this is right here is we're going to go ahead and guess that by the end of the month, based on what your last month looked like, there's going to be another 406 points coming. And then we also have points from new VIPs, and this is also based on last month. So between whatever date this was uploaded to the end of the month, we're guessing you're going to have another 379 points coming from new people. And here's how I get, and based on these numbers, is how we end up with your estimates. And I give you a low, a high, and just an estimate. So that estimate is 74.79. This is where I think this person is going to end once all of those new people are added, once all of those extra orders are placed, and when the month actually closes. And then here is the low. The low is usually going to be close to that subscription only forecast. It gets closer and closer as the month goes on. Sometimes it's exactly the same. And your high, this is if you have a really high recruiting month and things get exciting that month. Lots of people are ordering that didn't have subset. Maybe there is a new product coming out that we didn't know about that changed the game for you. So that's kind of where those numbers are coming from. Then if you go up at the top, you can see there's different sections of growth. So these little reports right here, these are tabs that you can just click on. So if we click on growth, it's going to take you to this report right here. So growth is focusing on your new ambassadors or your new VIPs joining your team, not ambassadors, sorry, your new VIPs joining your team. Again, we're broken up into total and outside leg. And I put this in points version instead of people. So when you see new VIP totals and it says 59, this is not 59, or oh, sorry, this is 59. And then below it, I'm going to give you the points from those new VIPs. So these numbers may look different than what you see in your back office because these numbers are for levels 1 through 7. So your back office may show you've added 80 new VIPs and I'm showing 59. If that's the case, then 21 of those were in levels 8 and deeper. But then the points is the thing I really like to look at the most because this is going to give you, like I was starting to say earlier, this is going to give you a better idea of, you know, are those new VIPs really moving the needle for my business? So sometimes I coach people all the time who will look in their back office and see new VIP totals be really high, but the needle is not moving. But they have no idea that the majority of those new VIPs are coming from level 7, 8, 9, 10. And so they're getting little, if no points at all on them. But if you know how many points you're getting from your new VIPs, it gives you a much better idea of, oh, that makes sense why this month hasn't been a great month. I only added 100 points in new VIPs. So that's why we have this section right here, points for new VIPs. And then you're able to compare it to last month. So last month I've added 275 people and they were worth 662 points. And this has the difference. I'm down 511 points from last month to this month. Now, this report was ran earlier in the month. So of course you're going to be down if I'm running it on the 10th and comparing it to all of month last month. So always keep that in mind and just hopefully that number, that gap keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Then you can go up to retention and you're going to get this retention report. So the retention report can be a little bit intimidating and confusing. So don't let it overwhelm you, but it's basically going to give you an idea of how your people who have joined in the last 6 months are reordering, like what percentage. So if you look at the graph down here, it's a lot easier to follow than the numbers up here. If you look at the graph, it's giving you the percentages, and the blue is last month, and the lighter blue is the current month. Again, this report was ran earlier in the month. So the lighter blue is always going to be lower because all the orders haven't processed yet. So these are the ones that have currently already processed. So the people, this report was ran in December. So we're looking at the June. So these are people who ordered in June and reordered again, who joined in June, sorry, and reordered again in November because it was last month. So 29% joined in June and reordered again in November. And then only 6% of those have ordered again in December. And then you see July, 37%. And then we kind of go up with each month. The October ones, 63%. And then November is 0. So why is November 0? November is 0 because what we're saying in this column, so like October, we're saying they joined in October and and they reordered in November. So the November is 0 because they joined in November. So there's really no retention for them yet. This is their first month. So that's why this number will always be 0 simply because it is their first month. But 21% of those who joined last month have already reordered, and we're still early in the month, so that's a good number. That's a good start for this. But as you can see, retention tends to go down with each month, and the goal is to get these all more even out so that your retention is stronger. And I like to see this number, I mean, more like 75 to 80%. That's the sweet spot that makes me happy. So next, we're going to look at our top recruiters. This makes your life so much easier on shout outs. You're able to see the current month and the last month. We found it very important to have last month because a lot of times people are doing their last month shout outs on the first, the second, or third of the month, and you want to be able to see those people and that not already be gone. So this way you can log in and you can see who are my top recruiters this month and who are last month. When I look at top recruiters, I'm only looking at people who recruited someone with 100 PV plus Almost all of our contests are focused around that. That's the way our business is aligned. So if somebody recruits someone with 20 PV, that recruit is not going to be calculated in these totals. As you can see, Blair Waldorf is killing it for those of you who love Blair. And then we're going to click on other reports. And this is going to give you just some other reports that I enjoy looking at with my business personally. So we have points per leg. So this is an old report that used to be in our back offices way back in like 2013, 14, 15. And it's basically, it's not how many points these people have. So Blair Waldorf doesn't have 2,530 points. It's how many points she's giving me. So you're able to really identify your strong legs this way and see how many points you're getting from those people. Then we have points by level and percent by level. I love showing people this. Sometimes it blows their mind when they realize how those deeper levels are so beneficial and why sometimes it actually is good to have a deep team. You want to go wide and deep. So don't neglect the deep part of that because deep means duplication is happening and that is good. But you're also able to really see, I love looking at the new people on each level, like where is the disconnect? Where is duplication not happening in as well? What are those levels you really need to be like looking at and helping and coaching? So we can see new this month, this girl has been killing it with level ones this month, but last month she was not. So she's added 18 level ones this month and 0 last month. And level twos, there's a huge weakness. She's really struggling coaching those new people and getting them to duplicate. There were only 5 new level twos last month and 0 so far this month. Level threes, still a little low, so her upper level duplication is not looking as great. So she's got 30 level threes and 112 last month, and then 194. And let me reiterate. Actually, this 18 is high because she's added 3, not 18. This is points, not people. So sorry about that. I actually confused myself, which is very easy to do. Points by level. So she's added 18 points, 30 points on level 3s, 50 on 4s. Level 5's only 6 this month. And then if you see total, there's 151 total. So her highest is right here at level 4. And if you look at last month, it was exactly the same. Her highest was right there at level 4. And a lot of times, older businesses that have been around a while, diamond teams, it's pretty common to see kind of a bell curve on that, where your highest is right smack in the middle. And you want to kind of get those both ends to be equal out your middle levels. So that's kind of the challenge, and the goal is to keep pushing for the lower levels and the deeper levels to be right there with those middle levels so that we see that same duplication across the board. But these deeper levels, even though they're not worth as much, they can really bring in a lot of points. So if you look at current points, this is overall points. Current points, this girl, I don't know who sponsored Blair Waldorf, but she had 7,400. I keep talking about Blair. Sorry. My daughter and I just finished watching Gossip Girl, so that's where she came from. And last month, her total points was 7,448. If you can see, this is a breakdown of where those are coming from. Level ones, there were 68 points of them. Level twos, 341. And then threes, fours, fives, this is where the meat of her business is coming from right here. 1590, 2296 level fours, 1543 level fives. But even those level sevens, 585 points. That means there were 585 level sevens on her team ordering. And that adds up pretty quickly. So, and then down here, you can see the percentage just to get, this kind of gives you an even better, especially on the growth balance, perspective of where do I need to be leaning into? So ones and twos, her percentage is super low. 3, 4s, and 5s looks pretty good. So if I were coaching this person, I would immediately say, we need to work on 1, recruitment, and 2, duplicating those level ones. Like are you talking to them about sharing the business? They probably aren't having that conversation. Do they know where their website is? Do they know how to build a cart and share it with friends? Do they know that as soon as they add their first VIP, they can get paid on their products? So this is the way I would coach this person when I'm looking at their reports. So these are all of our reports. I hope this was helpful for you and not even more confusing, but if you have any questions, I'm always here to help answer those for you. Thanks, guys.